Welcome back to another episode of 4XPEDITION Adventurer. In this episode, we venture out with my brother Dan to explore ancient native dwellings of the Southwest. Along the way, we'll pass by incredible waterfalls and show you just how extraordinary hiking in Arizona canyons can be. The next episode of 4XPEDITION Adventurer starts now. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of 4XPEDITION Adventure. I'm Scott Leuthold. This is part 2 of an adventure called Exploring Ancient Civilizations of the Southwest, and if you haven't watched part 1, definitely be sure to go back and watch that first. I take you on some really wonderful overlanding routes as well as some incredible hiking destinations in some very remote parts of Arizona. It's just an extraordinary trip and I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're not a subscriber to the 4XPEDITION channel, I encourage you to become one, and of course be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified of upcoming videos. And if you'd like to support 4XPEDITION, go to patreon.com/4XPEDITION. Your support goes a long way to creating quality content for this channel. I really look forward to sharing part 2 of this adventure with you, so sit back and enjoy the ride.
Good morning, everybody. Man, did I sleep well. My brother gave me one of these Z-Quill tabs, which are non-habit forming sleeping aids, and holy cow, I was out. Heading out now. We're gonna head up and hike the other canyon hike this morning. Should be a beautiful day. The sun's out already. Slept a little bit later than I'm used to. Mushrooms? I know, they're all over the place here. I thought maybe they were a mushroom. Taste it, see what happens.
Not sure what it is.
I was trying to figure out what it is about you that looks so good every morning. Then I realized it was your hat. So I want to talk for a moment about the Campfire Defender. And this is a fire blanket. You basically, when you're getting ready to go to bed for the night and you want to make sure that the embers, if there's embers still burning, and you don't want that to fly around in the wind and not have to worry about it and be able to go to sleep and have a good night's sleep and not worry about your fire, you can throw one of these fire blankets over the top of your fire. And this one's made by a company called Campfire Defender, and they're based out of Glendale, Arizona. I bought this one at Overland Expo a couple of years ago, and I think this is a really great product because it really allows you to not have to worry about your fire. When you go for a hike, if you've got let's say you got up in the morning, you had a morning fire going, you just throw this over the top and you can go for a hike. You can stake the corners down. It comes with stakes. It also comes with some gloves for you to be able to handle things so you don't get your hands dirty from all the soot. It also comes with this centerpiece here. So you take this steel stake, this rod, and you just nail it down in the middle of the fire, which isn't really very hard to do. And then it's got this little piece here that sits up above higher that allows the blanket to stay up above the fires and coals so it doesn't get too hot on the fire blanket. And you cover it up. And then you can choose to have this open or closed. This air vent allows it to either burn completely out. So if this is open, oxygen gets in there and allows the embers to continue to burn out. If this is closed, then it actually keeps the embers warm so that in the morning when you get up, you still have some embers and it's easy to get a fire going. As you can see on the ground around me here, the ground is covered in these scrub oak leaves. So if embers were able to fly out of here, it'd be pretty easy for a fire to get started, which is why I used it last night. You throw it up over the top and it's just a really great product. Anyhow, it's called Campfire Defender. And if you care at all about the forest and you don't want to have forest fires, use one of these, especially if you leave your camp during the day and you want to make sure that it doesn't start a fire while you're gone.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the importance of that blanket. So for for one, if you were to start a forest fire, it's, here in Arizona, things can go really, really fast. And like you said, with all the scrub oak leaves you got around here, if it starts up a fire, it's going to spread really, really quickly,
Yeah.
especially with some of the winds we have up here.
Exactly. You don't want to be the one.
I don't want to be the one. I want to be the guy that started some forest fire in Arizona, that's for sure.
Right, right. And it's really interesting. I have not really seen very many people use these at all, and they're just really easy to use.
I think, it's possible people don't understand what it is or why it's beneficial.
Or how it works.
Or how it works.
Yeah.
Generally, when I'm out, camping by myself, I don't have one of these blankets, but I try to time it so that, hey, I don't put any more lumber
Right.
on after a certain time and make sure it's like nearly dead before I go to bed.
Right.
And
And you don't-
times I have to put water on it, but at the same time, I sometimes want it back in the morning. So.
Exactly. So you can actually keep the embers going if you close that, and it keeps them hot and stoke up a fire pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There you go. You're good.
Pretty good. So we decided to pack up all of our stuff and take one vehicle to go a little bit further up the road to get to the next canyon. Left my car down at the campground and took the Nissan Frontier up the road. We decided to pull off and put a little parking area off the road here and not go any further because the road gets pretty gnarly up here. A Jeep trail here, heading up to converge with a little hiking trail that's up here. We're cutting off a segment of the hiking trail. I don't know how many times I've gone backpacking in the Superstition Wilderness without a tent,
and laid my sleeping bag on a little tarp right down in this stuff. Super soft. Then somebody asked me, aren't you worried about rattlesnakes? I'm like, well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I am, but
It's just what
rattlesnake.
rattlesnake. Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary up here. A lot of wildflowers, tall grasses.
There's nice and pretty green. You know, obviously we haven't hit the heat of the summer yet. We're drying everything out and makes everything tan and brown, but
Right. This is the perfect time of the year to be out here.
in this area too, even a little bit of elevation, the temperature's not as bad as down in the valley,
Right.
but it's starting to get warm.
I remember I was backpacking in the Superstitions one time and without a tent, just sleeping on the ground. And I had all my stuff pretty well secured because you never know what's going to come around. And I had a loaf of bread and I had it sitting in my aluminum backpacking pot at the time. And I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I hear dong, 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 dong. And a raccoon grabbed my entire bucket and was dragging it off. Ding, 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 and I lost it. He took the, and he must have climbed almost climbed right over me because it was right next to my hip.
Oh, jeez. Where did the trail come from to get us here? Really, you either moved way up
Yeah.
by this time, or you've gone elsewhere.
It's just pointing out that down here, we came up, there was a nice little camp spot right there in the green patch. And then out on the end of that, there's actually a car parked way out there right in the middle of the screen. Yeah.
Hey, this is the end of the road.
Yep, now we're gonna start curling around this ridge into that canyon. We're going around into this canyon here, around this ledge here. And by the time we get back in there, we're gonna be halfway up this canyon wall. And we'll be going around the south rim of the canyon. And then around the back, there'll be a waterfall, and we'll come around the north side over there. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually dwellings over there. You can see them right there under that ridge. So here's the first dwelling. Not much left of it. It was built right here on the side underneath this overhang. See, look how far out that overhang goes. Totally protected. And there's a mine here. Probably back, we were thinking maybe 20s, 30s, 40s. Somebody built a road all the way up here. Not all the way, I mean part of the way up here, which we followed. And they had a mine, and this goes back quite a ways. I've been all the way to the back end. It doesn't really go anywhere exciting. It just goes straight back, maybe a couple 100 yards. Yeah, so all this rock you see here, this is called tailings. So whoever was digging this mine here just had no problem throwing their tailings out here, and probably had a lot to do with destroying these particular dwelling ruins. I'm gonna go up a little further. There's one on this side, and then we're getting closer to all the ones on the other side.
Maybe it'll tell you exactly what that is.
Yeah.
And why they would have decided to mine there. My guess is not me. That stick is still there.
Isn't that amazing? That branch is holding that up. Now, some of this might have been, you know, rehabilitated by, like maybe U of A came out here at one time and rehabilitated some of these a little.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that goes down pretty quick. All right, so we're finally nearing the end of the canyon. And it's just an extraordinary waterfall right here that we have to walk behind. Some nice pools down here. You can imagine Native Americans having all this fresh water all the time. Plenty of drinking water. Look at that. Yes. And it's year-round. Never stops. I mean, it's flowing more right now because it does snow on top of this mountain, you know. But I've been here in the summertime, and it's pretty hot getting up here, but once you're up here, it's nice and cool. So there's the waterfall back there in the back of the canyon. We're over on the other side now. And you can actually see where we just hiked around. And we were hiking along this very narrow ledge. Zoom in on that, you can probably see the trail. It's right there. And it drops straight down. Look at that canyon wall above it. So we were literally hiking underneath a ledge of that canyon wall on a little shelf, only maybe 10 feet wide, 15 feet wide max. And it drops that far down to the creek down there. Keeps going down, 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 Julie Brown, way down there. The home of the ancients. What an incredible sight. Look at those walls. Packed with adobe. Stacked up. A lot of work. And oftentimes the rock is covered over with a mud plaster. This one here had a back room here, maybe for a storage cellar, or could have been a sleeping area. The Vega poles are still intact. Look at that, there's a room up there. Careful not to touch the walls or the ceiling or anything. There's a message that somebody left up on the wall from 1920. You know, there's a little bit of graffiti up here, but you will also find a lot of native art on the walls. Let's see if we can show you some of that. So this is an incredible seat, and I can guarantee you that if this runs year-round, which I think it does because I've been here a number of different times throughout the year and throughout the seasons, and this water just keeps seeping right out of the earth, you know, hundreds of feet below the surface, and it comes right out of the side of the mountain. So I can't imagine that it's not okay to drink. I've definitely filled up my Camelback here on several occasions being out here, and have had no problems whatsoever, so I think I'll do that right now. I'm going to show you a really amazing example of a floor in here. Come back in here. It's starting to collapse. I'm sure it's been that way for a couple hundred years. Look at this. It's just an extraordinary example. There's this room here. Got the Vegas up above, got doors here. It's just incredible, isn't it, that they were able to figure out, like you said earlier, how to survive here? Let me show you the underside of that same floor. This is the downstairs. You can look up at it here. So you got the Vegas, and you got the Latias, and then it looks like they have a bark flooring, and then they put the dirt over the top of that, or maybe some stone over the top of that, and then some dirt. Who knows what else? Now, folklore has it that this plant here was used by Native Americans for toilet paper. So we've got a shortage of toilet paper right now, as many of us do. This stuff here should take care of it. Well, we got off that mountain. That was a long haul down. We're both exhausted, but Dan's ready to roll with his Frontier. I'm getting ready to hop in the Subaru here, take it off the rocks, which I use in order to level off the iKamper so that it's a flat sleep. Otherwise, you're rolling into one side and you'll wake up with seam marks on your face. But we're gonna back up here and roll off of this now.
My baby, just 3 weeks to go. The rain is falling wildly. but the moon is still aglow. And tomorrow there'll be sunshine, and the garden will be green. We'll lay a bed of lilies for you to dream. My baby, just 3 weeks to go. Your mother's singing softly to the music playing low. She feels you, from heart to knees. The love for you is as deep as the sea. You have my world as the earth, as the sun, as the water, as the rock. There is no question, there are none. You have my world as the branches have the sky, as these lungs take the air. There is no question of why my word is good. My word is love. My baby, just 3 weeks to go. The house is a buzzing with anticipation for you, you know. From the inside to the outside, the faces here, they glow. Girl, you're welcome here, it's more than you know. You have my word as the earth, as the sun, as the water, as the rock. There is no question, there are none. You have my word as the branches have the sky, as these lungs take the air. There is no question of why my word is good. My word is love. My baby, just 3 weeks to go. Your father's preparations for you have found the flow. And your mother, she is resting for a journey to bring you home. And we'll see you when the winds begin to blow. Yeah, we'll see you when the winds begin to blow. Yeah, we'll see you when the wind begin to blow.
All right, everybody, I think that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed both of the episodes of my latest adventure. I really enjoyed spending time with my brother out in the wilderness, catching up with him, checking out his new Overland rig. If you haven't become a subscriber to the 4XPEDITION channel, I encourage you to become one. And of course, be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified of upcoming videos. And if you'd like to support 4XPEDITION, go to 4XPEDITION.com and go to the store. We've got some really great products in here. We've got some specials going right now. And of course, you can always visit patreon.com/4XPEDITION. Your support goes a long way to creating quality content for this channel. Until the next time, take care.